Hey there everybody, and welcome back. So I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today, where I'm just going to be doing a first look and a first impression between two outstanding products for an airport that I really enjoy flying to, and that's San Diego. So LatinVFR has had a 3-year-old rendition, which has served the community great for quite some time, but ORBX also just came out with a new version by one of their new developers, so we'll be taking a look at a side-by-side comparison. First of all, LatinVFR will always be on the left and ORBX will be on the right. Also, if you notice, frame rate counters will be in the top left and the top right hand side to correspond with which scenery you're looking at. Both of them are running on the same system, and I'll put all the specs in the description below. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the differences. First of all, autogen quality and color saturation I think are very good on both. LatinVFR tends to be a little bit on the oversaturated side, but it still looks believable and still looks very good, at least on the Point Loma side. Ground texture quality, especially air side, is significantly better in the ORBX version. However, as you'll see a little bit later, on the non-air side, it is lacking in some ways in both sceneries. Now, when you take a look at some of the foliage and the topography, especially on the approach to runway 09, you really start to notice that both of them have some errors, especially when it comes to certain water masking that may be climbing up onto a freeway or something like that. But overall, the topography and the vector and the mesh are pretty good on both. Now, things really change when you get to the terminal side. From the jetways to the ground markings to the terminals, the ORBX version really shines here. However, it is a less performant airport as well, so it is something for you to take into consideration when you're looking at these two airports. Now, color accuracy, as we talked about a little bit earlier, is significantly different, as you see here. The ORBX version is a little bit more flat and frankly does look a little bit more like Southern California, especially areas like the Marina Intake Center here. But like I said, it is believable. It's more about how it is that it blends with global and with open land class US. Now, when you look at the Marina, especially the quality of boats and the Sheraton and the immediately surrounding area, the LatinVFR version is lacking some of the foliage that the ORBX version has, but overall, for a 3-year-old product, it still really does a good job of depicting the Marina area. Downtown is also good in both, but you will see vector issues in the LatinVFR version, and the quality of the autogen is clearly much better in the ORBX version, especially if you look at the right hand side of the screen. You'll see where it significantly gets better in the ORBX version. And we'll take a look a little bit more of this a little bit later. Now, on the other side of the airport, where the Loma Heights is for the runway 9 approach, the runway 09 approach, it's excellent in both. And I really can't say that either one takes the cake here. The only time you really start to notice is when you're looking at the naval station that sits adjacent to the airport. Now on the other side though, the Coronado Bridge and downtown, as we talked about before, is significantly better in the ORBX version. And more importantly, you can see straight out to El Cajon in the ORBX version. It covers a significantly larger area than the LatinVFR version does, which is a pretty remarkable feat for such a large metropolitan area. Now, because it's metro, I know that you can't put everything all in, but I do think that the parking lots in the ORBX version are noticeably lacking even on approach when you're looking for it. Even the lacking baked-in textures of the LatinVFR version, to me, does a little bit of a more effective job. But airside, like I said before, is a different story. The runway is pristine in the ORBX version, but again, LatinVFR does hold its own, especially for being 3 years old, especially when you look a little bit outside of that runway to, let's say, the immediate perimeter of runway 27, you start to see LatinVFR is definitely no slouch when it comes to its own rendition. In some ways, even beats ORBX, in my opinion, in some of the areas immediately outside in runway 27, but airside, again, ORBX is pristine. Now, ORBX has also been able to implement some of their new night lighting technology very effectively recently, and you definitely see this here. Their airside night lighting is tremendously better than the LatinVFR version. However, because of Vector and OpenLC and their new lighting technology, you still get to enjoy a lot of the good lighting that you'll see even in the ORBX version outside of the city. And the higher that you go, the more important it is, and the more that you notice it. But it really is outstanding in both sceneries. So hope this was a helpful first look and helped you form an impression. And thank you for joining. Take care.